Here are my top 4 no-gi triangle setups. We're gonna do this from a closed guard. So the very first one is gonna be the classic push through. Here's a little detail. I'm gonna take this hand, it's his left hand, I'm gonna put it towards his right hip. Sometimes if you just do this motion and you push through, there's enough mobility here that he can swing his arm back out this direction. So if I go push, and when I go up, if he swings it out, he can still block it just enough, even frame his forearm up, and I never get the triangle. But if I take this and I put it to his opposite hip, I'm crossing his center line, his arm is much weaker, and it gives me just a little bit more time to get my leg up into this position. What you can also do is a push-pull method. So I'm gonna push this to his opposite hip like I just described, but first I wanna take this hand, and if I pull this hand, push this hand, he's thinking maybe I'm gonna triangle here. So he gives an opposite motion. If I'm pulling, he's gonna pull back. And if I'm pushing, he pushes back. So I want this. What I do instead is I do this first. So when I do this, he does the opposite. I push and makes it for an even smoother setup. So that's the first triangle. Push, pull, push it into the opposite hip, go up. Triangle number 2. From this position, if he's got his forearms a little bit more bent, maybe hands open, he's really stiff, and I'm having a hard time manipulating his arms. I can put a hand up here on the elbow. You can even do a collar tie. I'm gonna open this knee up and put it right in front of his bicep, so my shin is pushing in, my kneecap is right to his collarbone. But that's not it. I go here, one more time, he's pretty stiff. I go here, I draw this knee all the way up into his chin. As you do this, try not to, of course, knee strike your partner, but you want to go all the way up right there, lift his chin. Now this foot can go over and I've cleared this arm. If I simply go here and then just try to go up like this, you can see his arm can start raising, following, and then blocking the triangle once again. So it's very important with this one. Over, I cut, I go up. See how my foot, shin, ankle has cleared his shoulder from this position? His arm can't raise. Then I turn and lock in a nice, tight triangle. So triangle number 2, over, knee, shin, foot goes up to the shoulder, cut that angle, and there's your entry. Okay, now, triangle number 3, this is super simple. What I'm gonna do is this side, this is all right-sided triangles, I'm gonna put my foot into his deltoid first. So I'm gonna go right here, and my heel is gonna rest right on that front part of the delt, and I hold this with 2 hands, and I simply go push. See, I've bladed his body. This is much easier now. This foot is already cleared the arm. All I have to do is raise my hips as I pull like a rope on his arm. So I break his posture here, raise, up, over, super tight triangle. So once again, his arms are in this position. You can have both arms here, this is fine. I'm gonna go foot right in the delt. So I just axe kick down. Grab 2 hands here. As I push, you can see my foot even slides to his elbow, right on his bicep. So it goes from the shoulder to the bicep, pushing. Now I'm stuck on his elbow notch here. If he tried to reach his left hand in and swim it in, I can stick my foot to it so he doesn't. So then go ahead and slide under like this and totally, exactly. So that's gonna be the motion he's gonna do. Or if you wanted to, you can maybe swim it over top and then try to pummel down. For me to stop that, whoops, all I have to do is curl my toes slightly, give pressure. Now Ben, if you do the same thing, you can see it's tougher for him to move. If I didn't push and blade his body here, go ahead and go under or over, whichever one. That's much easier. So it's so important that after you touch the delt here, you get your foot there. When you push, think about blading his body and allow your foot to get to that elbow notch there, right to his forearm and bicep. Lift, see how high I lift my hips, and then over. So that's the 3rd entry. Okay, 4th entry here, no-gi. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna attack the same side, except I pummel like a lasso grip under. Now, this isn't gonna just hold him, of course, right? I'm pummeling my foot under, so as I push, I may get 2 reactions. 1, he may hold it, which is fine. Or 2, he tries to get his hand out, just like that, okay? And what I'm gonna do is, I go lasso, get my foot in, and I grab right away. This arm now, I'm just gonna push this through, depending on what this hand does. If it rests here, I can simply push it through, and I've got that push through triangle again. So I'm gonna go move my hips, lasso, grab, push here, and then lock up the triangle. And you can see how my hips move. That's really everything. The more mobile my hips are, the easier all of this is. If I keep my hips straight and just go here, I'm pretty flexible, I can do it, but it's not comfortable. But if I'm here, I move my hips out, now I have a lot more freedom. Here, grab. If you pulled that arm back for whatever reason, I can just go right over it, I never have to touch it. And if you're thinking there's no omoplata from here, absolutely right. You can go right to an omoplata as well. So the fourth entry, I go lasso, control, this goes through, my hips come up, triangle, lock it in, and you're all set. So there's my 4 favorite triangle entries. Keep moving forward.